hard in the face that it broke Paula's hand.
Yeah. Yeah, she hit her so hard it broke her own hand.
So then she had a cast that she would hit Sylvia, with after that.
And then once they got it in her head that Sylvia was spreading rumors somehow.
Yeah, because Paula became pregnant, and back then it wasn't a good
acceptable.
Unmarried. Yeah, it wasn't as accepted as it is now. So they said that it was Sylvia who was the whore, not her daughter Paula, and used that as an excuse too.
So in front of all these kids, they made her shove a Coke bottle inside of her.
Inside of herself. Gertie did. In front of all these children in the neighborhood, plus all her kids.
And then when she got too weak and dehydrated, they threw her into a basement.
Yeah, they moved her down to the basement.
And then I guess the money stopped coming all together. And they went down into the basement and started to carve, "I'm a prostitute and I'm proud of it,"
into her. Because that became Gertie's idea of what to do with Sylvia, was she was just going to leave her dead or alive.
And they made her, like we mentioned, write letters that said that she was ran
forced,
away.
Yeah, to go hang out with all this group of boys.
And blah, blah, blah.
Because she was a whore and she loved it.
And eventually she died. Now, Gertie herself couldn't finish carving this whole sentence into this young woman's body. So she made Ricky Hobbs.
Yeah. She told him how to do it and showed him how to do it.
Exactly.
And he finished it.
And all the while, like the grandmother, like we mentioned, they were already living there. The grandmother and an older married sister lived in the neighborhood as well. So a lot of the reports are that these two girls were dumb. Why didn't they run away? They blamed this young woman throughout the whole process for her own death.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is crazy.
It's so sad. Like the one boy, he practiced judo on her.
Yeah.
It would choke her out. Like she was just the whipping post for and it was probably hilarious to everyone.
It was
this
fun for them.
This poor girl, like she's a freaking martyr.
Right.
Like that's unbelievable, unholy
example of Lord of Flies and bullying and the influence of a grown up and
like have you walked over and kicked Sylvia yet today?
Because the younger kids that witnessed this, or some kids who was like, because they would say, "Hey, we got this girl, we beat her up, you should come and
come hit her too."
Blah, blah, yeah, come and have a party over here. And the parents wouldn't even listen to their own children.
That's their business, and mind their own business and stuff instead of reporting it.
So there's interviews of Ricky Hobbs or Richard Hobbs and Gertrude
talking about it.
And she says that the neighborhood kids beat her up. Girls at school, mind you, she had already written a letter months before this girl died.
It was like the alibi. It was the alibi for whatever happened to her after that point.
And finally, like after she died, they tried to resuscitate her.
And bring her back.
And then they waited 12 hours to call the police. This lady got out of jail in 1989. She was convicted in 67.
Yeah.
And her daughter. And they let these people get out under a new name.
A new name, like her daughter Paula was working for 13 years as a teacher's aide. Her daughter, who was actively involved in the torture of this poor girl, later on worked with children.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. How is that fair? That is just like the most disrespectful, kick in the face, spit in that victim's face type of reality that we all live in. It's sad. Like, poor, like, what? And her sister's probably destroyed too. Like, how do you come back from that?
She was so paranoid.
I'm sure.
She went into a crazy house because she was afraid.
Jenny, like, whispers to the cops when they're there, like, get me out of here and I'll tell you everything. Like, and a cry for help, because Jenny finally seen, I'm probably going to be next. And the relationship she probably had with her poor sister. I think there was reports where Sylvia told Jenny a couple days before she died that she knew she was dying. And unbelievable. That is just, and this is why it's a real famous case, because it's just an unbelievable show of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And what we create ourselves. It's
just how
that was
easily,
70s, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just how easily
66
you go along with the crowd. Also,
yeah, it's that pack mentality.
Yeah, like fucking wolves.
It was more the lower class, just like in the Candyman case in a way.
Yeah. So, and then the Hobbs kid and the Coy Hubbard was also another one that was convicted, and then a couple of the younger siblings who also took place in it, Johnny, who was 12, and Shirley Ann, but they were never, I'm sure that they were somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, I guess Shirley Ann was there whenever he was carving with the needle, I'm a prostitute and I'm proud of it.
Yeah, she helped.
Yeah, and she helped brand Jenny's chest too, because it looks like a 3. And he even says in the interview they were trying to make an S.
Yeah,
and he talks about it like it's just nothing.
Yeah, and
Gertie showed me how to do it.
Yeah, and it came out that actually Ricky Hobbs was almost was a partner, a sexual partner.
He was in a relationship with Gertrude.
Gertrude, yeah. So him and Gertie were like
the mother and father of all these wild children.
And because when they said, "Why are you even here?" he said, "I'm a friend of Gertie's," because he didn't have no ties to any of the children.
How old was he? 15.
Yeah.
15. Yeah. Yeah.
And then the movie makes it out like he was her savior. He was in love with her. He fucking wrote "I am a prostitute" and proud of it.
I can't watch. I'm not going to watch the movie ever.
Yeah.
Isn't Tate from America? Who is he in it?
Ricky.
Oh yeah. Oh, I might have to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Still not.
That's American something.
American
and then
Horror
there's another,
Story.
The Girl Next Door, which is the low budget like Lifetime.
Is it?
That's the first one I've seen. Yeah.
See, I can't watch it. I don't think. Does it show the Coke bottle and stuff?
Yeah, it doesn't show it, but it's implemented.
It's implied?
Yeah. But it always gives that scene where they dream, like it shows Paula getting her out in the one movie with Tate, and then in this low budget it shows Ricky taking her out. But he did it, and it shows like she made him, and they also have him being a younger kid. And it isn't. And his mother died, like the same week that Sylvia did.
Oh, yeah?
So he's a little fucked in the head, yeah. But they put it out on the Hubbard kid, like Hubbard, because he committed armed robbery after.
Okay.
And Ricky himself died at 21 years old.
Yeah, of lung cancer, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's his justice for what he did.
Yeah, well, they all died.
Yeah, they all do die kind of young
Paula
and crazy.
And Gertie. She's dead now.
Gertie's dead now, yeah.
Paula
she died like 5 years after she got out of cancer.
It was 2012 when Paula got busted. Cause
I mean, Paula was living a whatever kind of life, but she still shouldn't be allowed to do that. No, it's still not fair.
You should be a crack whore somewhere.
Yeah. Or already dead. Or just already dead.
But she found Jesus.
Whatever. She's a mother, I'm sure.
Yeah, she is.
Was a teacher's aide. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's unbelievable, too, that's allowed. There's been cases of that kind of, where it's like terrible missed cases of justice when people like that are released. And then they offend again, you know?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of those type of cases.
A couple serial killers.
Yeah. So Jack Unterweger, he was one. He's a real famous German guy. He's an interesting character. Maybe he'll be my next week's spotlight on older cases. Yeah, I just recently found out about him. He was almost like a pop star type kind of guy over in Germany, to where it had carried over to the United States. He was working here, I think, for like Time magazine or something. He was for a big publisher back then, writing something. And prostitutes started disappearing over here too. I think it was in Los Angeles. And that's how it got tied back to him. He had already gone back to Germany. Now I'll go into it more next week. But yeah, and then Arthur Shawcross, the Guinness, or what is, how do you?
Guinness, I don't know.
Genesee, whatever river killer, that guy, he was released and became a serial killer. Yeah, that's some crazy stuff too. You know, like if they do like 25 years, or, you know, they originally did something terrible when they were 20. You know, they're going to be in their 40s when they're released. So they're still going to be doing something terrible, I'm sure, until they're caught this time in their 60s and then they die in prison. You know, that's what happens, and it's terrible. They should never be allowed out to begin with.
So, yeah.
There's even, I forget the guy, but he even said himself he didn't want to be released from prison, and that he felt he would offend again. And he did. I forget who that was. But he was even against parole, and he got paroled. Oh, I'll have to, because I see so much, I take so much. I'll have to find out who that guy is, too, because that's an interesting story, too. That might be the broomstick killer, but I don't want to say, and that's another horrible, there's all kinds out there where the people definitely should have never been released to begin with. And then the women win, like Mary Bell is a really, really, really famous child case. She was a child murderer.
I know her story, yeah.
Yeah, she's living a life now. Like that poor girl, though, like her mother tried to kill her a few times, overdose her, and then her mom started using her in her prostitution stuff and was selling Mary, too. At like, 6, 7 years old. Yeah, so that poor girl on that side of it, but the stuff she did, wow. But yeah, out and has a family now, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unbelievable. Carla Homolka, that was somebody else. Her and Paul Bernardo, they're like the Ken and Barbie killers.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's out and has a family now. And that's an unbelievable, sensational. It's a Canadian case.
Yeah.
He was a rapist, and she married him. That's a whole, I mean, we could do something on them too. Like, I think, should we do like killer couples maybe?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of those. And that's a whole, I think that's like, the women being involved in it is like a spit in the face of your womankind or something. Like, how can you turn on us so much for a man? You know, like you bow down that much to this man. Shame on you, or something. Is how I feel about those type of women.
Yeah,
that do that for their husbands. What? Maybe if it was men victims, I'd be more inclined to be involved, but not other women.
All right, so that's about it for the 304 files. We're going to wrap this up, and we'll continue next week with killer couples or siblings.
Yeah, and siblings.
We also found out about people who serial kill animals.
Yeah.
There was a serial cat killer. Serial dog killer, serial homeless people killers. So,
you name it, there's a serial killer for it. There's an active serial killer right now in Long Island.
Yeah.
That's another thing that, yeah.
And as always, if you know any information about these cases, be sure to go to the local authority of the cities these places went down, or the FBI.
Please.
We'll eventually get to know.
We're going to get their number. This is a little prequel to how it's going to be.
Yeah. Bear with us as we get underway with our new show. Yep. As always, peace out.